Good afternoon to all. This is Prathap, IAS 2017 batch, Tamil Nadu cadre, presently working as Assistant Collector Training, Thiruvannamalai. Now the aspirants are in the final stage of preparation for prelims, so just 10-15 days more to take your prelims. So I thought it would be better if I give some last minute preparation tips which would be helpful to some of the aspirants, because as a person who attended the prelims and cleared it, so it is my duty and my pleasure to share with you the final moment tips which is crucial. The last 10-15 days is the time where the people get most of the pressure, and then some of them get buckled down by the pressures in the last 10-15 days. So it is very, very important that the hard work of 1 year and more than that is put into the final output properly, which is possible only by this 15 days preparation steps. So some of the important things which the last minute time warrants are: revise the current affairs properly, which is very, very important, because you have studied for more than 15-20 months current affairs, for more than a year for sure. So in that the final revision is very, very important for current affairs, because current affairs is such a bulky volume that you cannot remind everything by one go. So revising current affairs is very, very important. So but you cannot read the papers every time. So for 2 years you cannot revise the papers again. So it is better to revise the current affairs, which the notes which you have taken from the newspaper, or my advice is better read a compilation. Whichever compilation you have been following for past 1 year can be taken out. For every month compilations will be released, so you can take out the compilation and start revising it again and again, so that the facts and the data gets into your mind. So this is very, very important. And second important in this last 10-15 days is the test, especially by the time you would have completed the sectional test and you would have started the full test. So my advice is at least attend one test every alternative day in the last 10 days at least. It must be a full test, because this will give you essence of prelims. Because each test will cover some subjects in various proportions, and in some tests economics will have larger number of questions, in some tests history will have larger number of questions. So you would be accustomed to all the sets of questions, so that UPSC can ask anything, so you will be mentally prepared for that. And you will also know, when you write a full test, you will know which are the areas I am lagging, so you can concentrate more on that. But attending test is not alone an important thing. The very, very important thing is the post analysis of the test. So after writing a test for 2 hours, you have to sit for at least 3-4 hours, and then check with the key of the answers, and then you analyze all the possible options. For a question you might have written correctly or not correctly, but still you analyze all the 4 options given, and if other options you can frame questions from the other options. In this way, from one question, with the analysis of the post test, you can frame 4 questions and you will get 4 different types of new informations. And finally, which I wanted to say is, don't study anything new which is absolutely new in the last 10 days, because this will add more of pressure. And people have the tendency in the last 10 days that this year rumors will start spreading around the place that this subject will come more, so polity will have more number of questions, culture will have more number of questions, international relations will have more number of questions. Don't buckle to all the pressure. You study, you revise whatever you have studied, and then you revise it only. Don't study anything new which will unnecessarily complicate the already complicated phase of our life. And then the last few things which I want to say is, sleep properly. Sleep is the best medicine, and you have put in your hard work for more than a year. So now it's time to relax and then revise. So sleep at least for 7 to 8 hours a day. You have 16 hours apart from that, so you can prepare more on that. But sleeping for 8 hours is very, very essential, which will give you a mind which is fresh and which will think more, which will have more logical reasoning than the brain which does not sleep, which is tired. So this is one thing. And then be positive and stay calm. Positive attitude is one thing which is the key to success in any competitive exam, and particularly in the UPSC exam, civil service examination. It is very, very important to keep calm, so that a calm mind is a one which keeps you in the difficult path. So that is very, very important. And then finally, on the day, on the examination hall, the approach for attending questions is that there will be 3 types of questions. One is easy type, another it is medium type, another it is hard type. So easy questions are the one which you have to attend first, and medium types you can leave, you can have medium and hard types you can leave it at the last. And also first there will be 3-4 phases of reading the questions. So in the first phase of reading, you start reading all the 100 questions, and in that whichever question you know you are sure of the answer, please mark it first. So don't try to stuck up with the question where you are not sure of the answer and then waste your time. So read all the 100 questions, and you may know 10 questions, 20 questions, 30 questions or 50 questions. Whichever questions you are absolutely correct of the answer, first mark it in the OMR. Then go for the questions where you can eliminate at least 2 options and you are stuck up with the 2 options. So in that you apply your mind and then choose the wise answer. And the third step must be go to the questions where you have eliminated 1 option and you are left with 3. In that my advice is not attend all the questions by fluke. You put some logical reasoning in that and then attend questions whichever feels good to you, because a serious aspirant will have some kind of intuitions, and that intuitions will possibly correct in almost 60 to 70% probability. And then my advice is try to leave the question for which you are completely unaware of all the options. So this is my final step, and this journey is a very beautiful journey. So in that you are going into the very first step of the examination, and the competition is huge, but the output is much more huge and much more pleasurable in this life of civil service. So my sincere wishes to all the aspirants who are attending the prelims 2019, and I wish the people from Tamil Nadu gets the maximum number of civil service seats this year, and this is the gateway into that. So all the very best, and thank you. Good afternoon, this is Prathap, IAS 2017 batch Tamil Nadu cadre, and presently working as Assistant Collector Thiruvannamalai. So the civil service journey is a very beautiful journey, and there are every year there are a lot of new people are getting added into this journey through by coming into preparation. So I thought it will be good if I give some initial steps which is needed and which is warranted of an aspirant who is entering into this preparation journey new to know. The first thing which you have to know is the civil service is not a very high standard one in the initial stage, though the basic things, the high standard things can be comprehended only when your base is strong. So for getting a base strong, it's very, very important to start reading newspapers daily, because UPSC is nowadays asking current affairs of more than 1 year also, but 15 months of current affairs is very, very important before prelims. So every day newspaper should be your first friend of the day, and your day should start always with the newspaper. And the newspaper, there are different approaches. Some people take notes from the newspapers, and some people just read the newspapers and just they will study with the current affairs compilations which is released by different institutes or websites. So that is your choice, but anything should be, but newspaper reading is very important. Some people will ask whether I can substitute newspaper reading with the compilation. No, newspaper reading is very important. You can couple it with the compilations. That is one thing. And then second thing, NCRTs. NCRTs is the basic books for entire civil service preparation, even for prelims, mains until interview. So thorough the NCRT 6 to 12 with few exceptions. Take the syllabus of the take the syllabus and then start reading the syllabus first, and then you start studying the NCRTs. NCRTs are very easy to comprehend because it will be written in very simple words, and then you can start reading it. This is first two, and then you have to attend a regular tests which is to test your knowledge, because you may be studying for long hours, but you don't know whether whatever you have studied is comprehended properly. For in that you have to write the regular test properly, and then hard work is very important in this preparation, because there is no substitute for hard work in this journey of civil service preparation. And not only hard work, a hard work coupled with smart work will make you sail through this preparation in the civil service examination. But hard work should be coupled also with the consistency of the preparation, because people may put hard work for a year, but they may try to see that after a year of hard work also I couldn't able to clear this. But this one thing which is very important is the consistency, because you might know many stories where the hard work sometimes have failed, but still if they pursue with the consistency, they ought to be succeed in a year or two. In this preparation, it's a very long journey. It's a very long journey, at least for a year. For a year you have to prepare, and for a year you have to write examination. So keeping yourself very positive and calm is the most important step which an UPSC aspirant has to develop. And also this is not only a step of an aspirant, it is a step after you come into quality of an aspirant, but it's also a quality when you come into the civil service, because you will be facing with a lot of people, and each people come up with different sets of queries, different sets of things, and it's very important you to stay positive. And some works will be bestowed on you which is next to impossible, but you have to deliver it. That is warranted from a civil servant. And then, so this is one thing which is important of a civil servant. Also, you have to choose an optional which is dear and near to you. Don't ask others. You can ask the opinion to others about the optionals, that whether I can choose this or this, but don't go by words of any other persons that this is the best optional, you choose it. They'll say that don't choose the optional only by that last year's trend, current trend, that last year this much people have cleared only from this optional, so only this optional will be useful for this year also. No, every optional has equal scope, and every optional has some persons to clear, but the proportion may vary. But you don't know whether this year the last year's optional trend will be repeated. So choose an optional which is very comfortable to you, because it's 500 marks. So around 25% of the marks of the UPSC mains comes from the optional, and it is very important to finish with your optional. And then finish up, if you are starting a preparation by May, try to read at least all the books and all the prescribed books at least by February, and keep 3 months for revision, because revision is the very important key in this civil service preparation, and you have to write lot of tests after that. So you have just entered the civil service preparation. I know you will be lot excited, but this excitement should stay, and your hard work should stay till your name appears on the civil service selected list. Thank you so much.